Hello, class. It's Kira. What is the date today? Remember, we are now in the month of May. What is the weather like? Is it sunny or rainy? Okay, we are going to do a warm-up. We are going to imagine that we are planning a trip to space. Here you have the beginning of some sentences, and you have to complete the sentences. For example, number 1, I will take, and then something you would want to take with you to space. For example, I will take my dog. You can write whatever you would want to take, it's up to you. And then you have to do I will miss and I will visit. You can use your imagination. Pause the video and complete these sentences. Okay, here we have some examples of what you could have written. I will take my dog. Number 2, I will miss my family. Number 3, I will visit the moon. Now we are going to look at some vocabulary that will help us for our listening. Repeat with me. Telescope. Telescope. Repeat with me. Microphone. Microphone. Repeat with me. Button. Okay, now we are going to do an audio. But first, let's look at the different words in the orange box. Hungry. Look at earth. Music. Play a game. Tired. And voice message. In the picture, I can see a microphone, a telescope, and 4 different colored buttons. All right, let's listen.
If you want to listen to music, press the red button.
If I want to listen to music, what do I use? That's right, the red button. Let's continue.
If you are hungry, press the letter F on the screen.
If I'm hungry, what do I do? Press the letter F. So I write hungry in the box that's pointing to F. Continue.
Press the letter G if you want to play a game.
If I want to play a game, what do I press? The letter G. Good job.
When you want to leave a voice message, use the microphone.
What do I use the microphone for? Voice messages. Good job.
Use the telescope when you want to look at Earth.
What can I use the telescope for? Look at Earth. Good job.
If you are tired, press the yellow button.
What do I do when I'm tired? press the yellow button. Good job. Okay, now we are going to listen to a different audio and we have to fill in the blanks with the missing word. In red, you can see the year that these events happened. Go ahead and pause the video to quickly read through the sentences. Okay, now here's the second page. Go ahead and pause the video to read through these sentences. All right, back to the beginning. We are going to listen and fill in the missing words.
Read and guess the missing words. Then listen and check. 1957. Laika the dog becomes the first animal to orbit Earth in Sputnik 2.
1961. Yuri Gagarin is the first man in space. He orbited the Earth and landed 2 hours later.
1963. The first woman, Valentina Tereshkova, travels in space.
1969. Neil Armstrong is the first person to step onto the moon.
1976. The unmanned Viking probe lands on Mars.
1981. The first space shuttle landed back on Earth.
Okay, take a minute to finish writing down your answers for these ones, and then we're going to continue to the next exercises. Okay, now we're going to listen to the second part of the audio. Let's continue.
1990. The Hubble Space Telescope was launched. It still works and shows astronomers amazing pictures of space.
2000. The first crew moved into the International Space Station.
2001. American millionaire Dennis Tito becomes the first ever space tourist. His ticket cost him around $20 million.
2013. Voyager 1 reaches the edge of the solar system after traveling for 35 years.
Okay, now I am going to play the audio all the way through without interrupting it. So you can pause the video as you check the words that you've written in. Okay?
Read and guess the missing words. Then listen and check. 1957. Laika the dog becomes the first animal to orbit Earth in Sputnik 2.
1961. Yuri Gagarin is the first man in space. He orbited the Earth and landed 2 hours later.
1963. The first woman, Valentina Tereshkova, travels in space.
1969. Neil Armstrong is the first person to step onto the moon.
1976. The unmanned Viking probe lands on Mars.
1981. The first space shuttle landed back on Earth.
1990. The Hubble Space Telescope was launched. It still works and shows astronomers amazing pictures of space.
2000. the first crew moved into the International Space Station?
2001. American millionaire Dennis Tito becomes the first ever space tourist. His ticket cost him around $20 million.
2013. Voyager 1 reaches the edge of the solar system after traveling for 35 years.
Good job. Let's check our answers. All right, for the first one, you should have dog, like the dog. The second one, you should have 2 hours later. The third one, the answer was Valentina. The next one, the moon. Neil Armstrong was the first person on the moon. The next one, Mars. And then Earth. How did you do so far? All right, and then the last ones were telescope, station, 20 million, and 35. Good job. All right, now we are going to read these sentences and decide if they are true or false. You can use the activity from before to help you answer if it's true or false. Number 1. Yuri Gagarin was the first man in space. Number 2. The first animal to orbit the Earth was a dog. Number 3. People stepped on the moon in 1969. 4. Valentina Tereshkova traveled into space in 1973. And 5. Dennis Tito was the first space tourist. Number 6. The first animal in space was called Sputnik. Write true or false next to each sentence. And remember, you can go back in the video to the exercise from before to check to make sure if it's true or false. Pause the video and complete the exercise. Okay, here we have the answers. Number 1. True. Number 2. The first animal was a dog. True. Number 3. People stepped on the moon in 1969. True. Yes, it was Neil Armstrong. Number 4. Valentina Tereshkova traveled into space in 1973. This is false. If you go back, you will see that she traveled into space in 1963, not 73. Number 5. Dennis Tito was the first space tourist. This is true. Number 6. The first animal in space was called Sputnik. This is false. The first animal was Laika, the dog. Good job. For homework, you can read this short paragraphs and answer the following questions here. What will you have in your brain? Will people be able to fly? And where will people live? First, you have to read the text. You can pause the video and read the text, and then you answer these short questions that go with the text. All right. Good job.